Hey players, about a week ago, me and my girlfriend decided to do something that we were totally unprepared for. We had never done something like this before in our entire lives, but we knew in the end it would change ours and it would save his. This is the story of Marley, a dog we saved from the kill shelter.
This is the Josh Speaks. You're watching the Josh Speaks.
For a while now, me and my girlfriend have been talking about fostering different dogs that were kept in shelters, so much that we attended a few different events to learn how to do it. Not only were we learning how to take care of the dogs, we were also learning how to train them, how to get them to go into their crates and stay there at night, how to get accustomed to being fed on command. A lot of times, dogs that end up in shelters aren't just random dogs that are found on the street. Sometimes they're actually dogs that people send in because they're moving to a new place or they just don't want to have a pet anymore. And every single person that surrenders their pet, I'm sure, has a story behind it. But at the end of the day, someone has to help take care of that dog, or else they're going to go in the shelter and eventually not find a home. And what happens to a pet when they go from a home environment to a shelter environment can be a totally damaging experience for them. They're brought to places where the workers are trying their best to take care of these dogs, but the loud barking, the unfamiliar territory, the caged walls, and all these different experiences can be very, very psychologically scary. And that's where foster organizations and foster parents come in. Your job as a foster parent is to temporarily show that animal love and kindness until it can find an actual adoptive parent. But with organizations like the ACC, it's not that exact process. They only hold the animal temporarily, and then if no one adopts it, it goes on the kill list. So now it comes back to me and my girlfriend. We were looking at one of these animal rescue Facebook pages when we spotted Marley. Marley is an 80-pound, 6-year-old male pit bull mix. That's a whole lot of dog. And if you ask the average person about pit bulls, their general response is to be afraid. We've heard so much about pit bull attacks and how dangerous they are, but look at this face. After reading his profile and seeing that this dog was friendly with kids, was kind to strangers, was fun to play with, and wasn't territorial of his food or anything else, we knew we had to save him. It boggled our minds why this dog was on the kill list. He seemed like a perfectly adoptable dog, but looking at the rest of his profile, it seems like the only reason why he was on the kill list was because when they tried to run medical tests, he got nervous and peed on himself. Imagine that, being put on a kill list because you were nervous around strangers in a strange environment, so much that you just peed on yourself because you didn't know what to do. Well, we knew we had to do something. We drove over to ACC to save Marley. They were beginning to kill the animals that day around 1 p.m., but because we called earlier, they were going to hold off on him. It sounds like a nice and simple process, but if you wanted to foster the dogs, you had to do it through a rescue group, meaning you couldn't just decide on your own to foster him. So we reached out to different groups, and one group in particular decided to work with us in the process of saving Marley. When we got to ACC, we were nervous. I've only had small dogs in my life, and my girlfriend has never had a dog, and now we were taking this gigantic pit bull. And that's when we saw him. Marley walked out with his tail between his legs, clinging to the side of the person he was walking with because he didn't know what was going on. We went outside to give him a few treats so that he can get comfortable with us, and eventually he started to open up a little bit more. Before we got to the house though, we stopped at Petco to get his little name tag, to put our phone numbers on it, get him a few toys, and even a bed. And when we finally got home, we let him kind of run around a bit to smell everything so he can feel comfortable in this new fostering environment. What were we thinking? We have this gigantic dog here. We've never done something like this before. But I kept reassuring her that no matter how uncomfortable we felt, we were doing a good thing because we saved his life. However, that very first night was a disaster. We tried to get him to go into the crate for the night to go to sleep, but he was not having it. He was rocking the crate back and forth, and he even started banging against the door to try to open it. And this went on for hours and hours throughout the night. He was whimpering, he was crying, and he was trying to escape the cage. But we were kind of scared just letting him sleep next to us because keep in mind, we still didn't know anything about this dog. If we let him sleep by our side in the middle of the night, he could have attacked us out of fear or anger or hunger or anything. At some point in the night, my girlfriend even called a 24-hour animal hotline to ask them what we should do. And once we let Marley out of that crate, he was way more comfortable being in the bed. Sure, he did come over in the middle of the night and smell us and try to get our attention and wake us up, but that wasn't as bad as him rocking and crying in the crate. As the days progressed, Marley was becoming more and more comfortable with us, but we still sensed a hint of sadness from him. He wasn't really eating, and he would kind of just lie down and whimper. It took some time for Marley to open up, but he eventually did. He was running around playing with the ball, he was following our commands, and he was just generally enjoying life. We even had someone from the rescue come over to help bring a few items like a Kong, which had peanut butter in it, and for some reason, I've never met a dog who didn't like peanut butter, but he didn't. And we had a trainer come over to help us learn how to train him, how to walk him so that he wouldn't pull on the leash when we walked him. Side note though, a lot of dog owners don't realize that the dog is not supposed to lead when you walk them. He's actually supposed to walk by your side. So for someone like Marley's size, we had to get a prong collar, which is a collar with these little clamps. So whenever he would run forward, they would clamp down and he would stop and wait for his owner to walk with him. Spending time with Marley was both rewarding and challenging. With pit bulls, they tend to be very, very loyal. So anytime we would even leave the house without him, he would start whimpering and crying and jumping on the windowsill. And that made it incredibly hard for us to feel like we can do anything. The dog was so attached to us that we didn't really want to go anywhere. For a while, our lives revolved around him. Walking with Marley and playing with Marley was so amazing though. Just the simple experience of fostering a dog like this, saving his life, and really giving him a new chance to shine was so rewarding. And then something happened, something that would change both our lives and his. When Marley was surrendered to ACC because of his owner, the reason was because the person was moving to a new place that didn't allow dogs. However, the owner had rented a room inside of that person's house, and that person had come forward and said that they wanted to adopt Marley. She told the rescue that she had known Marley since he was a puppy. In the house, she was the one that would feed him and walk him and take care of him, even though he belonged to the owner. What had happened though was the owner surrendered Marley while she was on vacation, and now that she was back from vacation, she was doing everything she could to bring Marley home. And for me and my girlfriend, this was a bittersweet moment. She had started the week feeling totally anxious and scared and nervous, but by the last day we had with Marley, she was comfortable and open and happy with him. So on that final day, we spent as much time as we could playing with Marley, letting him know we cared about him, and we were so happy for him. And him being a dog was just like, okay, where are we going? What's going on? What's happening? We drove on over to the woman's house, and when we got there, we had seen a side of Marley that we were so happy to have seen. The rescue person had told us that they had never seen something like this before. Never had one of the original co-owners had come back to re-adopt the dog. Just thinking about it blows my mind. Had we not pulled Marley out, had we not seen that he was so lovable and caring and kind and saved his life for at least a week, he would have never went home. And that's why I think it's so important for everyone to recognize if you have the ability to foster or adopt a pet, you definitely should. There are so many dogs every single day sitting in foster homes and shelters and on kill lists, waiting for a loving owner to take them. In our case, we fostered Marley. We temporarily showed him a loving home rather than him sitting on a kill list and dying that day. This is something I will never forget, that every animal in this world has a personality and has feelings, and those are definitely things we should respect. What do you think though? Would you ever consider fostering or adopting a dog? Leave your comment below and let me know. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button below. I put out a new video every Tuesday and Friday sharing tips, ideas, and stories teaching you how to be your best self. And if you're ever interested in fostering or adopting a pet, check out the links I have in the description below. They'll help you learn more about the process, get started, and eventually save your first animal. I feel like we did a really good thing here, and I'm so incredibly grateful and happy that it happened. As always, guys, love and peace.